The Fleet Mag Celebrity Corner with host DJ Cat X. Today's special guest, OG Network founder, Big Courtney.
How you doing tonight, Court?
Man, I'm good. I'm blessed, brother. How are you?
Man, I'm fantastic, man. God willing, He got us both here at the same time,
That's
talking
right.
to each other, man. So, what you got going on as a whole? Well, first of all, let's go back from the beginning. How long you been doing what you've been doing? Just introduce yourself to the people. Let's tell them what you've been doing this whole time. Then we're gonna come all the way up to date, present.
Okay. Well, appreciate you having me on the show, my brother.
I
My
appreciate
name.
you accepting the invitation.
Yeah, my name is Big Court. Well, at this point, as a tech founder and founder of OG Network, they call me Courtney Big Court Richardson II. But I got my start that many may know, many may not know in the 90s as an artist. I was signed to No Limit Records in 1995 with the group CCG. We were featured on the compilation Down South Hustlers. We did the song RIP. The most fascinating thing is even now, 30 years later, people are still putting together that was me in that group on that album cover and on that album. Um, so I used to be a rapper back in the day as Court Dog in the 90s and early 2000s. Those who really enjoy that old school, Bay Area Midwest mob type music, you probably, knew about me or knew of me, seen me in Murder Dog magazine and all that. And then I got into doing movies and production. So I moved to LA 23 years ago. I was born and raised in Kansas City, Missouri, and I've been working with Master P for the last 30 years. So I am a graduate of No Limit University, and currently. Oh, and then I do have a popular platform podcast, Holding Court Podcast, with Revolt TV / OG Network as well. And now in 2026, I am the founder of the OG Network, along with my co-founder, the iconic Ice-T. So that's kind of, where we are in summation.
Wow. So how did you hook up with P? And it's ironic you said P. That was one of the main reasons I was excited about the whole interview that we're doing is because when I heard the No Limit, I'm like you. I'm one of the original people that started. I'm the one got it popping in the Carolinas. I did all that for him when he played the Hornets, everything. I did all of it.
Mhm.
I was the run guy, all the concerts, everything. I did it all. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Mhm.
how did that stint go for you? How did y'all hook up?
Um, we hooked up in 95. Like I said, I was a part of a group called CCG out of Kansas City, Missouri. And just didn't want to be local, bro. Back then, this is before social media. You had to figure out a way to get a record deal, or during that time, the independent rap game was kind of exploding, coming from California. I mean, of course, you had Luke, Uncle Luke, and Rap a Lot in Houston, and you had a few others, but mainly in the Bay. With E40, Uncle St. Charles, JT the Bigger Figure, they were kind of spearheading the independent game. So with that being said, I was sending our demos to major record companies, and they weren't accepting them. They would send them back. We don't accept unsolicited material. So I'm like 17. I didn't know what that meant. So I then set my sights on sending tapes and packages to I didn't have the verbiage independent. I didn't know what that was, but I just knew they were small enough for me to get to. And so I would get the addresses and the numbers off the back of the tapes and the CDs. So I sent a bunch of tapes out. Master PJ and No Limit just happened to have a phone number on there. And this is when he was based in the Bay. So he was still in Oakland. And sent the tape. Mr. Servon got it, took it to P. They liked it. He called the house, flew us out to the Bay Area to do Down South Hustlers, and that's where the relationship started. So that's how we end up getting from Kansas City, Missouri, all the way to the Bay Area. But Kansas City and the Bay have always been kind of like cousins anyway. From the streets, it's a lot of pimping, a lot of player stuff, the hustling, and even just our culture, the way, the cars, the slang, the Bay and Kansas City are very similar.
Right. So how did you transition from the artist side to now the movie and the film side?
That more or less happened when I moved from Kansas City to LA in the early 2000s. I think like 2002, 2003. I started rapping very early. I wrote my first rap in the late 80s, probably 88, 89 in middle school. So by the time I got the situation with No Limit, then I did some independent stuff around in the early 2000s. I'm seeing success in other arenas of business. I'm building a real estate portfolio. I kind of started outgrowing music, and I think it's a natural progression for an artist to go from some written expression to acting. So I moved to LA to more so just pursue acting. That's where it started. And so once I got out here and I started auditioning and just learning and seeing, just kind of how films are made and different things like that, I started asking questions and then I kind of started learning. Then the other part that I started learning was, you know, until social media, the world seemed bigger, so if you were in the Midwest or the South, or you was in a place where there wasn't industry and different things like that, you thought everybody on TV was rich and famous, So when I got to LA, I learned that, wow, okay, that's not it, right? A lot of the people that I saw on TV, I was actually doing better than them. So I was like, okay, so the power is in behind the camera. I mean, you have a selective few that are in front of the camera, but for the most part, it's behind the camera. So that's what piqued my interest and intrigued me about getting into production, because I was like, okay, I need to be in control. This was 20 some years ago, so which led me to financing. I was the executive producer and the star of a film that I did back then with me and Cat Williams and Lawrence Hilton Jacobs. And this was like 2004 or five. So that was my introduction into, the executive seat,
What was the name of that film, may I ask?
Young American Gangsters.
You're gonna make me go look all this stuff up so I can see it.
For sure. Yeah, yeah. You gotta do that.
Right. Definitely gotta do that. I just respect, your culture and the grind of being persistent in what you're doing, because that's the only way it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
Period.
for sure.
But you just said a mouthful about a lot of people don't know about when you go to LA. It looks one way in front of the screen, but behind the screen is something else. I learned that too when I went to LA. The same thing when I seen these same people, and then when you see the real, you're like, for real?
Yeah.
It's like unreal, but once you know, you know.
Yeah, it's a selected few, just a few, especially as it pertains to Black actors and actresses. But once you learn the business side and you start understanding, SAG and daily rates and just how the film business works, it wasn't that, you know what I mean? It was like, okay, nah. And then, I started doing independent films. I started out doing independent films. So, I come from the do-it-yourself era of the 90s. So when I'm on these sets and I'm asking people like, what's y'all budget on this? And they like, oh, 50,000, 30,000. I'm thinking that's nothing. I got that in a shoebox. You know what I'm saying? So, I understood the importance of investing in myself too. So I just paid my dues and went through the ranks of learning, just learning the process of filmmaking, the do's, the don'ts. And it's one of my superpowers, man, is I stay a sponge. I stay pliable. I'm always learning because stuff is always changing. Just when you think that you know it, it'll change, so I'm always a student.
Now, in asking those people questions, you didn't get shunned in any type of way? Because I know some people are funny about, people hang around, you're trying to learn, but they don't want them to know their craft, what they're doing. I mean, did you get any of
No,
that, or just
no,
open arms?
no, I didn't. I didn't because, I guess because the people I'd ask the camera guy, like, what does that mean? Why y'all do that when y'all do that? And they was always more than happy to explain. I'll ask the lighting guy, like, oh, why y'all do that? What is that? They explain it. I asked the director, hey, when you do this, why you do a two shot instead of going over the shoulder? They explain. So I guess I was lucky in that respect, just to kind of be around people that didn't mind, kind of giving me the information.
Yeah, you did basically what I was taught. I was always taught from the older generation. If you play dumb, you learn a lot. So nobody
Yeah.
wants Teach somebody that knows everything.
Yeah, that's right. That's a fact. That's a
That, that,
fact.
that sounds like exactly what you did because I used to do the
Yeah,
same thing. Just stand and just play the nut roll, be the sponge,
yeah,
just absorb and get
yeah.
everything was needed to make the next move.
Yeah. And then also I was in a lot of those movies, so I mean, I don't know. I think it was probably a mixture too of, I was in the movies. They got a chance to kind of feel me out, see where I was. And then, I'm assuming they probably didn't want to piss me off and I leave, because then that mess up their movie, especially when we 3, 4 days in, you know. So it's kind of like, well, you kind of need me at this point.
Yeah, I'm here now. You got to deal with it. So, what is your progression and the future where you're trying to go? Because I know you went from step to step. Now, this is like your step because this is your thing. So, what is your whole projection of where you're trying to go and what you're trying to do with it?
Well, the OG network, I feel like this is my big one. I keep harping on it because it's a milestone. So I'll be 50 this year, right? And I come from a generation where, men die young. So, it's a privilege to be able to get older and to be able to, put in the work to for my dreams and my goals to come to fruition. And from being a 12-year-old kid in Kansas City with just big dreams and not even understanding or have a reference point to how I'm even going to get there, but just believing and showing up. Um, I feel like I'm saying all that to say I feel like the OG network is my big one. I haven't peaked yet. I haven't peaked yet. So, um, I feel like everything that I've done up to this point has prepared me for this, all the way back to a teenager, all the way back to, manually writing bios and no one even told me or taught me what that was. But in essence, I'm putting together a press kit, but not even knowing that's what that is. Understanding how to cultivate relationships, how to talk to people, how to reach out, how to seek out people, the door is shut in my face. All of those experiences for the last 30 years have prepared me for now. So with that being said, I think I just want to leave a lasting impression on the culture. You know what I'm saying? It's not about money. I'm past that point. I've been blessed enough to be able to live in some of the most beautiful homes, drive the best car. I've done all of that, right? But you get to a certain age where those things don't matter. Those accoutrements and that don't matter, right? People don't remember what kind of watch you had and all that, but people remember how you made them feel, or if you inspired them, or if you left them with something. So at this point, it's about legacy. You know what I mean? It's about what what did you what did you contribute to the human experience, right? And so, I think I can do that through the OG network, right? Because we're doing a couple of things. Not only are we preserving classic movies and we're shining light on classic culture, but we're also extending opportunities to people. That's the most gratifying thing, is to be able to give opportunities to people because, as I've been in this media space with Holding Court podcast, you pay attention. And, kind of like I referenced the 90s. The 90s was a way out for a lot of people in the streets, in terms of the independent rap game. There was a lot of cats that had their street money and, they became managers, they became artists, they became producers, and it was a way out. Well, the movie and the content space is similar. I saw, especially in Detroit, there's a lot of filmmakers that were, taking a little money and getting a little stuff, they little quarterly checks or monthly checks from Tubi and actually making a living. But no fault of Tubi's. They scaled, they do what they do. They got acquired by a bigger company. Of course, we watched this with UPN, the CW, different things like that. This is what they do. And they basically moved the goalposts once they used the culture up. So I just got tired of seeing that, and I'm like, okay, we need a solution. The best business is to find a problem and be the solution. So in this case, is the fix is to own the solution, because us in the culture, we make everything cool. We set the trends. You know what I'm saying? We do all of that, but we own very little infrastructure. So I was like, okay, I think this is something that I have something to offer and we can extend these opportunities to these displaced content creators. We can do good business, we can do all of that, but when we can advocate for the culture because we're of the culture, Ice and I, you know. So it just made sense to do, and again, it's with a purpose, you know what I mean? It's not about no money or nothing like that. It's really with purpose, because we can, I liken it, and I got inspired a lot by Isaac Hayes III, what he's doing with fan base. It's about building generational wealth, and at some point we'll take OG Network public, you know what I mean? And the culture will really be able to share in the wealth, so that was the goal. That is the ultimate goal right there.
How did you get up with Ice-T and y'all come together on this union? Because just by having him as a power plug, it already elevates it to a point on the jump.
Of course, of course. Me and Ice cultivated a relationship maybe about 5. We already knew a lot of mutual people and knew of each other loosely, but I say probably maybe 6, 7 years ago. Then he came and did my podcast. Then he came a second time when he got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and won the Grammy that year. So we just always, we were just kindred spirits, we just clicked. We just clicked. And so I had the idea, and it only makes sense. OG Network. He coined the term OG. You know what I'm saying? The first time I heard OG was from his album OG,
Yep.
right? So it only made sense. So I applaud Ice for believing in my vision and supporting me and standing with me. And I think we make a great team because we know where we're strong at. Even him being the elder, even though I'm the founder of this and I spearhead most things, I still run a lot of stuff by him because he has wisdom. He's been around a long time and he's still relevant. So he knows some. So, I'll have an idea in my head and be like, okay, OG, what you think? And he'll let me know, okay, that you're going down the right path, or he'll let me know, nah, maybe rethink that. So we work very, very well together. So yeah, it's an honor, and especially this is somebody I've been a fan of my whole life. Ice was the very first gangster rap record that I ever heard was Squeeze the Trigger in 1986, 87, Ryan Pays. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I grew up listening to Power and Iceberg and OG and all of that. So New Jack Hustler. So even his recent stuff, I mean, he hasn't dropped an album in 20 years, which I think the last album was Gangster Rap, I believe. And then he did release a record a few years ago, but it was a collection of all his songs that were storytelling. I forgot what that was called, but he's releasing a new album this year as well, so called Criminal Migraine. So yeah, man, we working, and it was brought to my attention. I never thought about it, man. I'm really blessed because, like I said on the Breakfast Club, I'm a product of some good OGs having the right people because, like I never thought of it. I'm tied to two of the biggest, moguls, icons in our culture, Ice-T and Master P. You know what I'm saying? And to be able to have
that's
done
a blessing in itself.
Yeah, yeah, and to be able to have, done business with them both and cultivate a brotherhood. And then even Big Boz, Boz from No Limit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I'm a product of some good OGs, and it's always been mutual respect, and they support me and they look at me, it's reciprocated, it's reciprocity. So yeah.
Between the two of them, which different which do you pick up from each one that helps you motivate yourself? Because I know from each one of them is two different people. You should be picking up something different from each one that helps you motivate in the direction you're trying to go.
Yeah, it's a very different dynamic, because you got to think P is more like my brother, because I've known him for 30 years, so he met me when I was a kid. So the dynamic is a little bit different there, because that's more like family for real, where Ice is like a close friend, a uncle almost, you know what I'm saying? But very different personalities and different and very different paths. So that's why I get so much game, because see, I can get the the gritty, do it yourself, independent. You know what I mean? That come from P. But then see, Ice, he come from more the industry side, right? You know, Ice always had a major record deal. You know, he's been on SVU for almost what 25, 26
That's
years. You know what I'm
25
saying?
years.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm able to get, you know, perspectives and information and gain from two kind of different sides of the coin, if you will, you know. But it's a blessing, you know. I never take it for granted. It's definitely a blessing. And you know, Ice is very he's very wise, you know what I'm saying? And he's someone who gives the game freely, you know what I'm saying? So you know, so I get it, I get different things from each of them.
Wow, that's incredible. Now, with that being said, in your movie, how you doing the movies, you get different perspective than them on movies. I know P did a whole bunch of independence and everything, and I was a part of that
Mhm.
whole thing. And I know Ice has his thing going on with the independent movies. So do you get perspectives on that too as well?
Yeah, yeah, but more so, see the beauty in the relationship with them as well, right? And I think this is why the respect is so mutual, because even though they have the notoriety and they are legends, even in my own right, I've always had my own thing going on. So that's why the respect is so like it is, right? So
Right.
even though P has been my brother for so long, I always had my own business, my own money, my own motion, even independent of him. And the same thing with Ice, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know, the world, you know, knows them, but you know, on the blacktop, it's like, okay, we see you, Court. You know, you got your own, you know, mansions and houses, you got your own cars, you got your own, you know what I'm saying? So I'm
You
never
your own man.
yeah, I'm never someone, you know, coming asking, you know, I'm giving. And if anything, I'm presenting a play. You know, most
Right.
people, you know, they're used to most people coming to them, give me, or, you know, can I have, can you help? Can you help? I'm a person that's, hey, check this out. I got this play, you know, I got something we can do together, and I'm presenting opportunities as well. So I think
Right.
that's the big difference with, you know, when it comes to those dynamics.
You're right. That's the biggest difference you could have with anybody like that. Because, like you say, you're
Mhm.
not coming with your hand out. You coming with
Never,
something to bring to the dinner
never.
table.
Yeah, never. Mm-mm.
Man, it just sounds like a blessing, man. I just can't wait to see everything and how it unfolds. So when does everything will actually start to be in place?
Well, the OG network is live. It's out. We're rolling. So we're available. You can download it on Roku, Google Play, Fire TV, Apple Mobile, and we're also on Apple TV, which we just got on Apple TV this week. So we're live. You know, we're live. We got new projects dropping left and right. We have the boy that built the army. That's the Raymond Washington story. He was the founder of the Crips here on the West Coast. So we have that doing extremely well. People are loving that documentary. We also have an exclusive movie called My Sharia Moore, which is a movie out of my city with Omar Gooding. It's a thriller, so it's exclusive. Both of these titles are exclusive to OG Network. And we have several. We got the Black Godfather from the legendary producer Code 187 from Above the Law out here on the
Yeah.
West Coast. We got his series as well. We got. I had man. We have been inundated with so much content from all over the world. We got comedy, drama, horror, action. We have podcasts. You know, we have Torre's podcast on there. We have Holding Court on there. We just got this podcast. I'm CEO on there, which he'll be on the Breakfast Club next week. He's actually just hilarious as chef. Um, so we got CT Fletcher. We got CT Fletcher's podcast dropping on OG Network. So we literally we got everything. We just got started. We're not even 2 months old. We might just be 2 months, 60 days. We might, and we at, you know, maybe almost 5 million watch minutes. We already have over 150,000 followers on Facebook. This is within the last maybe 45 days. You know, we've got thousands of downloads, and we're worldwide. We're distributed in over 183 countries. You know, so yeah, you know, we getting off to a very, very, very strong start.
Very good. That's incredible, especially to be black owned. So
Yes, yes.
you could now. It's on Roku. So by being on Roku, is there a pay? Because Roku has a lot of free, but then they got pay options. Because
Mm-hmm.
people ask the question, is it one of them you got to
Yeah,
pay the subscription for, or is this one you click on because they got the free channels and all that stuff?
it's free. It's free. Only thing you got to
Oh,
do is just sit through the commercials. It's free. You download it for free.
oh,
You
you're
watch it.
you're doing the 50 Cent. I like that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yes. Just like 50 did with his channel. 50 was one of my inspirations when he did 50 Action.
Right.
Byron Allen, Tyler Perry, even Lemuel Plummer with Zeus, I study. I'm a student, so and I study things and then I create my own, take a little bit from there, then create my own thing.
That is crazy. So what newcomers do you have, coming to the team?
Well, right now we're really, we have the team that we have. I mean, my daughter works a lot with me. She works a lot behind the scenes as well as being a co-host of Holding Court. But she's a tech founder. So my daughter, she does a lot of stuff with OG Network. And we have a solid team. I will say that. I've that's nothing but God just putting the right pieces and the right people in the right place at the right time. You know what I mean? So we're pretty autonomous, but we good right now.
And what's your screening process as far as somebody getting the music to me? If I have 5 friends right now and they try to get a movie to you, what will be your process?
So what they can do is they can submit it to content at the ognetwork.net. Donald XL Robinson, he was over No Limit Distribution for many, many years. He has XL distribution. He's over acquisitions and licensing of OG Network distribution. So they submit to content at the ognetwork.net. Donald, he'll send it to the team and they'll review it and then it goes from there. So I had to assemble a whole team. I had to hire people and put them in place, to be honest with you, because um, I wasn't prepared, And my daughter told me this. My daughter was like, "Hey, Dad, I think this is going to go faster than you think." I'm like, "Okay, okay." But when we went live and people started, seeing it, especially now, man, I get inundated with stuff from all over the world, all day, every day. Literally, if I log in that email, it's just pinging, ping, 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 ping. It's just somebody sending a link, sending a
You,
us. But let me say this: we're not accepting synopsis. So no synopsis, no treatments, only finished product, no scripts and nothing like that. So only product content ready to go. And we accepting series, feature films, micro dramas, and vertical movies. So I'm making a space for that. And I really want a lot. Listen, this is the culture, man. I know a lot of people can't get on Tubi anymore. So what I'm creating a space for all regions. So right now, I got a Kansas City. We got a Kansas City playlist. So all the stuff from Kansas City, we got an LA playlist that we're building. Texas, Mississippi, Alabama, Detroit, Florida, all the filmmakers from all over the world, man. Get on OG Network, and we're going to put you in front of the world. We want the Detroit movement. You can go, you can see Detroit, what they got cracking. So yeah, we really for the culture, brother.
you definitely open up the pipeline. And I was just going to say, but you already said it. You basically moving in that 2B space with more opportunity.
For sure,
Definitely
for
right
sure.
now.
Yeah, and the culture put us there. The timing, because Tubi is moving out that space that we're moving into. So everybody is looking at us as the next Tubi, as they should be. So I support everybody, but sometimes when I see content creators like, oh yeah, I'm going to Tubi, I'm trying to get this on Tubi, I kind of looking like, nah, that's cool, but you should be coming over here. You know what I mean? But but yeah, we here definitely to support the culture, brother.
You definitely right now, you are the culture. Y'all make sure
Mhm.
y'all go and download that. It's on Roku.
We on Roku,
Yeah.
Fire TV, Google Play, like I said, Apple Mobile, the App Store, and Apple TV. And we'll be on Samsung and LG next month.
Did y'all hear what this man just said? He gonna be on Samsung. Y'all know how big that is. I ain't even gotta tell you.
Samsung, and my daughter is quarterbacking some stuff right now. Like I said, my daughter does a lot. We'll be in some of these. Our fast channel will be on some of these cable networks as well. Some of these bundles that you get, from some of these different
Right.
cable, from different parts of the country. They'll have OG network content and fast channel included in there as well.
That's the next question I was finna ask you. Are you going to be getting with some of those bigger things? I noticed that's a new thing. They're getting with the bigger one, and then they'll put the bundle in the package, and everybody get a piece
Yep.
of it.
Yep. That's the next step. And we, like I said, 60 days in.
Wow. So how much of
Yeah.
that are you actually a part of it, or everybody? I got a saying what I call PYP, play your position. So you just have everybody playing their position, doing their job.
As well, initially, I am the founder. So I had to do a lot of Ice kept it 100 with me from the gate, right? When I asked him, did he want to do this? He said, Court, it's very intriguing. Sounds interesting. He said, but it's not my wheelhouse. He said, that's not my wheelhouse. I don't know about that type of stuff. I said, Ice, but I do. I can do it. And he trusted me. He said, okay, Court, you're going to have to do it. You're going to have to build it. So, I had to go and I had to, build the foundation because in essence, the people that I hire, I had to have already done it because I have to train them. You know what I mean? So I have to train my guys in distribution. I have to train what we're looking for, how we curate stuff. I had to, put these pieces, but I had already done it. You know what I'm saying? And so then what happens is, as I've already done it, I had to say, okay, you take over so I can go be the founder and do these other things. So now, and I still do a lot of stuff. My hands are still on everything, but I've had to grow our infrastructure relatively quicker than I expected, which is a good thing. That's a good
Yeah,
problem.
definitely a good thing.
Yeah,
That's
it's a good
great.
one.
But look, your daughter was already ahead of you.
Yeah. And we've established strategic partners with different aggregators. That's been a good model and that's actually something that my daughter, brought to the table. So we're growing relatively fast. It literally every day it's just going. It's going. So I'm enjoying the journey. That's the other part that you learn too when you get to this point. You don't get so preoccupied with the destination to where you forget to enjoy the journey. So I'm just blessed and I'm grateful that I can wake up every day and I can do what I love. You know what I mean? Like at this age, I don't do anything for money. I literally spend my days doing what I love. I love creating. I love playing the game. I love learning. I love just getting in there and putting something together and watching it come together, watching it manifest. So I get a rush off of doing it.
Now, how do you feel to not just be giving your family generational wealth, but you're actually working with your family? That has to be a great feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because my oldest daughter, Rachel Renee, she's my co-host of my podcast, and she's also director of culture. And she does a little bit more. She's kind of like my brand manager as well. My son, he's an actor. He works behind the scenes as well. And my youngest daughter, she's like our BTS. She's our main, behind the scenes person. She does my daughter's makeup. She styles her. She does a lot of stuff. So most times people see me with my kids, which my kids are adults now, but most times I'm with my children, my grown children, so yeah, that's what it's about. It's about, building generational wealth, spending time with your family, building with your family, because one day they'll have to take over, so they're getting a crash course of what this is and what needs to be done, so that's the beautiful thing about it.
That's definitely the beautiful thing. So
Hmm.
shoot. With that being said, smooth as everything going, we just gonna throw everything up in the air. How long you think it's be for they'll be like in position, and you'll sit back and
Oh, I don't know, man. I'll be old. I love playing the game. You know what I mean? So if I ain't doing that, what I'm gonna be doing? So I'm gonna do it to my mind bleed me or something. I start making bad decisions like, okay, Dad, you gotta go sit down. Like you accidentally wrote a check for $10 million and it was supposed to be $1,000. Like, yeah, you losing your mind. So
You gotta respect it. You gotta respect it, man.
yeah,
I don't have nothing but love and respect for you. Can't wait to see it. I mean, you got me so interested just in the conversation, telling me the background about it. I'm actually gonna go get it because I already got Roku. So now you already
okay,
know what to do. I'm just going to punch some buttons, and I got a lot of other people I deal with Roku on because we do the TV thing. Because you get older, you don't move like you used to move. So you can
yeah, yeah,
push that. You can push that. You can get a lot more people to follow you with that than
yeah,
following
for
you
sure,
out like we used to. So we
for
definitely
sure,
putting that into play, man. So why don't
for
you
sure.
take the time, tell everybody everything that you need them to know? Because I just want you to get more followers. I want you to be able to come back and say, hey, man, that dude, KX, man, he helped me out. He brought me like 15,000 people. That's what I'm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I appreciate that. I mean, people can follow the OG Network on IG, the OG no OG Network Live. Follow the Facebook OG Network Live as well. And then just download. And what I encourage people to do is go to the website, the ognetwork.net, and register. Register your email. You get all the updates. We let you know the new releases, all the news. We got merch coming soon. We got OG Network merch. So, go and register your email so, we can stay in touch with you. That's the most important thing. And then download it, man. Download it. It's something for everybody. I'm sure that you'll find something that you like. Again, download it on Roku, Fire TV, Google Play, Apple TV, and the App Store. And yeah, if you like Tubi, you like, Hulu and all that, you'll love the OG Network. And again, we're only 60 days in. We got so many cool things coming down the pipeline. And then also pretty soon, I'll tell you, we have a contest that we'll be announcing very, very soon. The contest is going to be OG Network looking for the next hood movie. We're going to be looking for the next Friday, the next, I got the hook up, the next, you know what I'm saying? Who's going to be that next Spike Lee or that next, Ryan Coogler, right? And with that being said, when we announce, we'll review all the submissions, and when we announce the winner, we will give the winner 100% of the ad rev. They get 100% of the profits of their project. We'll put them at the top of our app, and we'll promote them. So this is a contest we'll be announcing really, really soon, probably maybe toward the end of this month.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's
So people, follow. Of course, you're probably already following Ice-T, but follow the OG network pages. Follow I Am Big Court. Follow me. Follow my daughter Rachel Renee, and just stay in the loop. Stay in the ecosystem of the OG network, and of course, follow Holden Court podcast. Which is my podcast on Revolt. / OG network as well. People with my podcast is one of the leading podcasts. We have all the celebrities on. We've had Ice-T, Master P, Bone Thugs and Harmony, Tiffany Haddish, Michael John White, Snoop. We've had, you name it, they've been to my show. And so we have a bunch of episodes. We got Big Gip dropping next from no, I was about to say Outkast from
good.
where's Big Gip? Huh?
Good.
Goody Mob, yeah. That's my partner. How did I mess that up? Yeah, but we got Big Gip dropping. So yeah, subscribe to the Holden Court podcast, which it's on OG Network. So you can go watch it there. You can listen to it on Revolt or Spotify, whatever the case may be. So
I'm gonna give you that support. I'm going to watch it off of your channel.
that's exactly. Yeah.
I'm definitely finna go get that tonight so I can go ahead and tune in. I guess another thing I wanted to ask you, I don't know if you paid attention to the whole 50 Cent thing, how he got it. Yours similar to that?
Yeah.
How they
Yeah.
do the
So
run up. When I mean that, I mean like the run up of the movies, how the movies are set up, how they just run
yeah.
back.
Yeah, so 50, what he did with 50 Action is he partnered with Lionsgate, which was amazing.
Right.
50's not the first to do it. The first that I saw do it, excuse me, in terms of celebrities, to be honest with you, on the low, was Kevin Hart. He did the LOL channel,
Yeah.
Um But yeah, 50 basically did the same thing, and LOL is the same. It's AVOD, it's advertised and it's not subscription based. And he partnered with Lionsgate. What we did was we just elected not to. We just, who we partnered with? We partnered with the culture. You know what I mean? So that's the difference. We partnered with the people. You know what I mean? So yeah, I love what 50's doing. And I learned from him as well. That's one thing about me. That's one thing about Ice as well. And P, never haters. All the hating shit happens at the bottom. People at the top,
Right.
people at the top gonna collaborate.
Right.
They're gonna learn. They're gonna salute and learn.
Yeah. All the crabs at the bottom calling each other.
Yeah. So I learn from everybody. I'm inspired by everybody. You know what I'm saying? Even again, like I said, Byron Allen to me is a sleeping giant. In the culture, a lot of people try to say he's corny or whatnot, and he very, very well may be, but he's a billionaire, a corny billionaire. And I can remember being a kid watching him, with these one-off shows and these little shows. And again, I'm a kid not knowing, like, okay, why did it was only 6 episodes of that, or why does it seem like he comes and goes, and different things like that. But as I got older and I'm looking back on the plays, I'm like, oh shoot, like I'm literally in the same trajectory as him. I see why he had those shows. I see why he was doing that, and why, how he became a media executive and how he was gaining that social currency. So yeah, I study from everybody, but salute to 50. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because I noticed how his channel is and how it's set up. That's why I wonder with yours like that.
Yeah, it's the same way. He's got
doing it. Yeah, because it's working.
Yeah, he's got VODs. See, I'm gonna tell you the difference with us though. We're kind of, ours is different in a sense that we have VODs. So just like when you go to Netflix, you go to 50 things, that's called video on demand. So that's when you go and you can play what you want to play. But the thing about it with us, we also have our fast channel, which means you can click on OG Network and you can watch the programming that's scheduled out, right? And then you have other channels where you have the grid, the guide. Well, the thing with us is we have other ecosystems within our ecosystem. So you have OG Network VOD, you have OG Network Fast Channel, but see, we also have a karate channel. We also have, bare knuckles fighting channel. We have a wrestling channel. We have all of these worlds where you can go in our app, click on them. You can watch kung fu movies if that's what you into. You into westerns? We have a western channel. You see what I'm saying?
So you're telling me I'm on your channel?
Yes.
And within your channel, I can see all of that, but I'm still in your channel.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's what separates us from a 50 Action or Tubi. That's what separates us from these places is we have other worlds within our world. We got everything. That's when I say we literally have everything. We got everything, even African movies. If you into, Nollywood, or is that what they call it? Yeah, Nollywood.
That's what they call it.
You can go to I think it's called Nagati or something like that. But you can go to that channel and you can watch African movies. If you into documentaries or you into crime stories or whatever, go to the crime stories channel. You know what I'm saying? So we have everything.
Wow, I'm intrigued. When I get off the phone, when I get off of this thing, I'm going to download that ASAP.
Yeah.
You put that, you finna be my new channel, because if I can just go to your channel and just play,
you don't have to leave. We have sport. We have sports, we have fighting, we got kung fu, we got drama, we got hood, you want to watch old cartoons, we got old cartoons. You want to watch blaxploitation, that's what I'm saying. You'll find something.
Wow. I mean, I'm just so intrigued. I don't know what else to say. I done made it where you can put everything out there. I'm a fan.
Yeah, appreciate that.
I'm a fan at this point. I mean, I knew this was gonna be a good interview, and I knew it was gonna, show me a lot of stuff, but I didn't know all of this.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
you just open a whole floodgate door.
Mm-hmm.
So the magazine,
that's
definitely gonna make sure that this get out, because our culture needs to know this ASAP.
Absolutely. And that's what sets us apart. And, we've got nothing but rave reviews. I'll be very honest with you. We've got nothing but rave reviews. I haven't saw one part, and I'll be 100, right? That comes with it, right? We haven't got anyone to say anything bad. The only thing that people complain about, which we are our technical team, they're fixing it, is people aren't able to create accounts yet. They can sign up, but they can't log in and create accounts. That's getting worked out. Other than that, man, people love the content. I'm talking about, I get messaged all the time. People be like, man, I stumbled on the Kung Fu movies, got me in a chokehold. Or, man, I've been watching your podcast, or I've been watching these other podcasts. Man, I've been watching these hood movies, or,
Well,
they stumbled
I
on.
know the kung fu you doing. The kung fu you doing the old school. That's what I'm looking for. All the
Yeah,
old
yeah,
school, five
yeah.
fingers of death and all that good stuff.
That's so the funny thing is, I was having this conversation. I'm trying to think of who I was talking to. It was actually a celebrity. I can't remember who it was, but they was like, yeah, man, I was checking you out. You got the Kung Fu movie. So I was like, I'm born in the 70s, raised in the 80s. So Kung Fu movies were super popular. But when I was a kid, it was about ninja movies. So I was like, man, I'm gonna step the ninja movies up, because I've had people, like, man, when you gonna get the Goonies? And they want these classic 80s movies, Fast Times at Ridgemont High and Weird
Right.
Science and all of that type of
Yes.
stuff. I was like, oh yeah, we getting all of that. And when I said ninja movies, people, it was funny. It was somebody standing kind of, a few feet away. They was like, ninja. What you know about a ninja? I said, man, they don't make ninja movies like they used to. And that became a whole conversation. So I said, man, we got Kung Fu already, but we gonna get them ninja movies up there and the Goonies and all of that stuff.
Yeah, man. You got me. I'm hooked. You my new channel. Hey, it ain't even nothing else left to say or talk about, man. You got a
Yeah.
supporter, a fan, and everything, and whatever you need from Fleet Magazine.
Appreciate you.
I'm behind it
Yeah.
1,000%.
Appreciate you, man. And likewise, if I can be of service or anything. Where are you located? What city? Where you at?
I'm actually in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay, Charlotte. Yeah, man. Well, hey, shout out to Charlotte. That's the baby over there, right? That's his spot. Am I
Sir,
correct?
yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So shout out to Charlotte. No, same way, brother. If I can be of, any service or whatever, man, I appreciate you. God bless you. And,
Hey,
I appreciate your
you already
platform.
got me thinking of some movie things to bring through, because I've been tapping into people, because I do a lot of promotions on different areas, concert tours, and now they got me getting into the movie thing. So we're trying to take like regular movies, like a movie, and you bring
Yeah.
we're doing the movie screening for the whole thing. Me and my
Okay.
partner are doing the whole thing. So
Well, yeah, man. What you can do is stay looped in with Mike. Let Mike know. And what we could do is we're looking for strategic partners, and as I said, aggregators. We partner with the culture. We partner with the community. You know what I mean? So
right.
so I'm looking for, we're looking for movies from all over the country to represent, what I'm saying, their soil, their understanding, and their creativity. So if you tapped in with movies from over that way, from wherever, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, come holler at us.
Yeah, we definitely finna do that, because like I said, we actually we did one, it did pretty good. They got a private theater, all that, you know what I'm saying? They gave us a theater, boom, do your thing. We did it. It did good. They said win the next one, but I told them everything takes time and planning. You just can't
That's
throw
right. That's right. Yep. Well, all good, brother. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for
I
having me on the
appreciate your
platform.
time and everything. Looking forward to doing it with you again.
Likewise, brother. Salute.
All right. Salute. Bless.
Yes, sir.